Crystal Palace 1, Manchester United 2. Big win for Manchester United. A weird game, though. Stephen Howson joins me. What was the difference between the first half and the second half of that game, do you think?
Joe, it was because we scored and they didn't. Why do you think it was weird a game?
I think it was weird because I thought we were going to lose. It felt like the sort of game that over the last 18 months in particular, we go on to lose these games. And then all of a sudden, not only did we win, but Palace didn't really do anything at all in the last 30 minutes. And that surprised me a little bit. Because usually teams do that against us.
Yeah,
when we concede first, we usually lose. And it was weird to me that we didn't.
We didn't create a lot.
No.
But, again, we did speak about this in midweek. We're missing 2 of our 3 signings. And it's mad how ineffective Mbumo looks with those 2 missing. It's like 3 very different players with a 3 really similar play style in Xerxes, Mount and Mbumo. And it's hard to... Look, Crystal Palace has got one of the best defences in the league. So you're not going to create a lot against them anyway. We relied on set plays to actually open them up in the first place. But... I don't know if it was weird, but I agree that I didn't think we were going to win. I didn't think we were going to win going into the game. I didn't think we were going to win once they scored. I didn't think we were going to win once we equalised. I didn't think we were going to win once we took the lead. And my missus even said to me, I'm watching the last 5 minutes, and she's like, why aren't you, you don't look happy. Like, I went, because the game's not over. And she even said to me, like, there's 30 seconds left. And I was like, we ain't won yet. I just didn't feel like at any point we were safe in the game.
Is that because of, I don't want to say trauma, like you're going into shock or anything, but is that because of games you've seen in the past, or was it something to do with this specific game where you felt we looked open and that we could concede chances at any minute?
I don't necessarily think United looked open. I don't think they looked open either. I just think it was a really, really close game. I just said in my own review, if it had been 2-1 Palace, could anyone have complained?
No.
If it had been 1-1, 2-2, would anyone have complained? I mean, yes, people would have complained, but could they have? And if United had won, could anyone have complained? Not really. It was just a really, really close game of football. And I think you have to respect the position that Palace are in. You have to respect where they are currently as a football club. They're in a good spot. They're not where they are in the league by accident. They didn't win a trophy last season by accident. They're a hard-to-beat club. Yes, maybe them playing midweek in Europe benefited us, but so fucking what? Like, you got to take what we can take at the moment.
In terms of individual performances then, the first half I thought there was some real sloppiness and losing a lot of those, the ball will be in the air 2 or 3 times, header, two players coming together for a little tackle, and it seemed to bobble and fall to them every time, whether that's a bit of luck, whether that's because they were more physical, stronger, a bit sharper than us. Do you think that to win a game like that, where it is the typical blueprint of games we don't win, is almost maybe a little bit more encouraging than, let's say, controlling the game at home against Burnley? Do you think that obviously quality aside, these are the types of games we've really struggled with over the last sort of 18 months?
Maybe, but we did end up winning more duels in the end.
Okay. Well, maybe that's how we sort of overcame it.
Yeah, I mean, I've not seen the split between the first half and the second half, and you might be right. Maybe it was as simple as they was winning more duels in the first half, we won more duels in the second half. Our finishing was pretty clinical. It was a phenomenal goal from Joshua Xerxes, an absolutely dirty goal. Honestly, if United are trying to sell him, they're going to be making DVDs of that goal for every meeting that we have about him. But, it is what it is. I'm still... Maybe I'm not as excited as I should be. I should be really excited, but maybe I'm not, 1, not getting carried away. 2, I still think there's a mad lack of open play, chance creation and goals from United with the players that we've got at our disposal. But on top of that, we're going to lose the one sort of outlet we've had up to now in the season in Mbumo, even though I think last couple of weeks he's probably been a little bit off the boil, and maybe that's just fair for him.
In terms of the players on the pitch, there's a lot of people there who I think have had a lot of criticism in the last few weeks. I think Dalot obviously gets constant stick. Bruno's, anytime United don't win, he gets a lot of stick because of his playing style. You mentioned Xerxes with the incredible finish. Mason Mount, should he be here? Is this his last season to prove himself? There's a lot of questions. I mean, there's going to be questions about a team that is underachieving across the board. Was there anyone in particular, though, who you thought, you had a good game today, you've taken one step towards rebuilding your reputation or getting into some good form?
No.
just no one.
No, I don't think anyone stood out good or bad, to be honest. Lenny Euro got hooked. I don't think he was having a particularly bad game, in all honesty. I think the only pass he misplaced was a switch that he tried. I don't think there was anyone that was particularly great or particularly bad. I think Casemiro, again, shown us that when he has a good game, Manchester United have a good game. I think it kind of underscores the importance of bringing somebody in to give him a night off, because if we do end up in European places next season, and we really should, whether that's Champions League or Europa League or Conference, is up for, debate and also finishing at the moment. But we will be in Europe, I think, next year in some guise or another. If he's still here, which I think is an enormous if, there's not a chance he's playing twice a week and being effective. He might play twice a week and he might be shite, but he's not going to be good twice a week. I think we really have to bring in somebody. Again, I thought, Wharton was getting a lot of praise off TNT before the game started. I thought he was decent. I didn't think he was particularly amazing. But you can see what he would add to a team that wants the ball a little bit more than Crystal Palace do if he came to Manchester United. And I'm busting at the seam of my zipper for seeing what he and Anderson could do as a midfield too. I think they'd be absolutely fucking sensational for us. Because I think it's, we spoke about what did we win that game on? Was it possibly just that we had the slight edge over, because it was literally just a slight edge on them on total duels won. Wharton and Anderson as a midfield pair are going to win a lot of duels. That would be brilliant, I think, in the middle of the park. They both want the ball forward. Neither of them are fucking Carrick or Pirlo, but they're going to be that sort of archetype of a modern 2025, 2026 athletic ground covering midfielder. That's technically pretty good.
In terms of the manager, because after the Everton game, all the stuff from the start of the season just came flooding back, didn't it? The system's not going to work. 5 at the back is useless. Amorim's not changing, etc. All the stuff we've heard a million times. Did you think that the system played much of a role in the win today, or much of a role in the fact that the game was so close? Obviously, it's two theoretically similar systems coming head to head. Certainly in terms of formation, they're similar. Where are you at with the manager? Because it feels like every time you win a game, everything goes away, and then one loss and it's we can't carry on like this. He has to change, otherwise he's going to die.
Pretty agnostic with the manager, to be honest. He is the manager, and Ineos said that they're backing him for a few years. So I find it quite boring to talk about the manager, because I'm certainly talking about changing the manager. Yeah. You're not going to see me saying a manager has to go, because I think people massively over-egg the impact that a single manager has. I think it's all down to personnel. Now, on some levels, as we saw with Ten Hag when he was playing fucking Amari Forson, etc., over Ahmad, they can get things wrong. They can absolutely have blind spots over certain players and favour others, maybe because they've got the same agency, I don't know. But they can have areas where they're not making the correct decisions. When you look at the available personnel for Manchester United at the moment, is there anybody that you're going, I just don't understand how he's not playing? People are going to say Kobbie Mainoo, but when Kobbie Mainoo's, okay, he got a minute today, that doesn't really count. But when he has played recently, have you looked at him and gone, fucking hell, how's he keeping this locked up on the bench? Is there anybody in the United squad that you're thinking, how's he keeping him locked up on the bench? He's been fantastic whenever we give him a minute. No, there's probably 4 or 5 players where you go, I tell you what, if we had anyone else that was competent, he wouldn't be playing for us. There's a lot of that going on. And I think that is the underlying issue that we've got at the moment. And we've had that for quite a few managers. Because the squad's been assembled by an absolute fuckwit in Ed Woodward, we're still seeing the impact of that right now, where we have spent a lot of money, but the value of that money, like people will talk about all the money spent, the fucking Pogba money. Pogba came for a world record fee, left for free, did well again, got banned, has come back again, and people will still talk about the fee that we paid for him that we got nothing back from. The people will still talk about Lukaku's fee, Di Maria's fee, Harry Maguire's fee, probably going to end up leaving on a free. Like, all of that money that's been spent, not insignificant amount of money, the value of that is not on the pitch today. United have spent $1 billion. Where is it?
A lot of it is on loan at clubs that we're hopeful will activate a buy clause. At the moment, with Rashford, Sancho, Højlund, Anthony. I think he might have actually gone permanently now. But yeah, a lot of it is just we'll take 20 million for it, which is mad. So on in terms of the personnel, then we're seeing obviously a drop off in terms of chance creation with no Cunha, no Sesko. You mentioned about AFCON with Mbeumo. We already know the midfield is a big issue. Where else do you think? Do you think that do you like the look of the defence? Obviously, Martinez back today. That's helpful. United are still conceding too many goals. I think it's 20 goals in 13 games we've conceded so far, which is too many. Is we still a case where we're 8, 9, 10 players away from being a team that can maybe even push for a title challenge or top 4 consistently?
I'd love to say no. I really would love to say no. And realistically, it might not be that we need that many. Okay. But we absolutely, we might need, we should need at least a couple more starters.
Yeah.
Wing back for sure doesn't have definite starters. You need to replace at least Casemiro in the starting 11, if not Casemiro and Bruno. He's come away with a couple of assists today. But I think there's so much of the fan base that sees United in a post-Bruno world. There's a lot of people that probably don't appreciate what he's done. There's a lot of people that don't recognise what he's done. But I think there is a case to be made that to get the very best out of the system that he's trying to play, it probably requires somebody else as a first choice midfielder. He's not a natural in the position that he's being played. We're not getting the full Bruno effect playing him there, even if he's continuing to get numbers.
Yeah.
As a team, we're not perfect with him in that position. I think defensively we're okay. I think Lenny Yoro's got a great future ahead of him. I love Matthijs de Ligt. I think he's probably the guy that gets the armband once Bruno does move on, if that happens in the near future. I like Mazraoui. We have to see what happens with Martinez, because if Martinez doesn't come back to the level that he was, you're going to have to get a left side centre-half in, because it will not be Luke Shaw, surely. I think he's not bad as a backup, but I think you're going to have to replace him. So, and like we said, we need a wing-back, if not 2 wing-backs. So, yep. It might not be 8 or 9, but it's sure as shit going to be 4. We probably need another striker. Obi looks like he's not being considered for a first team place at the moment. Do you bring an older 34, 35-year-old in that can be happy playing every other week, getting 30 minutes here and there? That might be the move. It's still a lot of signings that are required. I think we did pretty well in the summer, but you was never going to fix all of the problems that we have very quickly. It requires patience, and it requires getting things right more often than you get them wrong, which, again, transfers are like 50-50.
In terms of the rest of this season, I know you can't predict the future, but we were talking during our review about how you want to push on now. You want to beat West Ham. You want to, I don't know if it's Wolves straight after that or certainly shortly after that. This run of games, we've got 8 left, I think, before Man City, where they're much more winnable than the 10 we had before. Do you think that we're capable of doing that, of really, cementing this position that we're in? Or do you think it is just going to be a season of 3 wins, 2 draws, 2 losses, a win, a loss, 2 win, that we're always going to be rolling our eyes because we didn't quite capitalise, and instead we have to look back across a 15, 20 game period and go, actually, that was better than the 15 games that preceded it? Do you think we're capable of going on a 8 wins in 9 games kind of run?
Yeah, we are capable, but we won't.
Okay.
If we put a team out like we saw today,
yeah,
what's different to last season that came 15th? What
And
one
Burma.
player in the starting lineup, outfield, and the keeper.
Yeah.
Keeper got beat from a penalty spot. Well, that happens, doesn't it? So, can you really blame the keeper for that? Not really. So, Mbumo is not going to transform United from 15th to 5th all alone. And that's kind of what we asked him to do today. You know, this is a team that finished 15th last season, plus Mbumo. Right or wrong? So,
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
that's what we're asking. Can we finish significantly better in the league just on the back of that one player? You know, we need Cunha back quick. I mean, what the fuck did he get banged on the head with? A hammer?
It must have been a knee or something, because he was concussion protocol, isn't it? So it's obviously a proper collision.
Have
not
they
just a
said
little
concussion
flick.
protocol?
Well, I've seen journalists say that. I haven't seen United come out and specifically say that.
Because there was some talk, wasn't it, that he was going to feature? Was it Everton that he was going to feature and then he just didn't?
Yeah.
Like the day of or the day before, someone messaged me and said, "There's more to meets the eye than a Cunha thing." Someone DM'd me and said that, and I was like, wasn't a journalist anyway. It was just a random person, and I didn't think anything of it. But the more that he hasn't featured, the more I think that they clearly fucking do something.
I mean, maybe he got knocked out. Maybe maybe he was unconscious in training, and obviously from that point, it's going to be 2 or 3 weeks, isn't it? I don't know.
Right.
It's interesting though.
Which clumsy fucker in training did that? Who's your money on?
Anytime a goalie can punch you in the face, that's possible. You're going for a header with a keeper, and they're coming out with 2 fists. That could do it.
Yeah, but I'm not talking about probable, likely, run of the mill things that happen. I'm talking about
something mental that's happened at Man United.
Tackled him in the canteen, and he banged his head off the rail behind him.
Yeah, probably. He slipped over on the pool of gravy that fell off Dallow's little tray as he was sliding it down the lane, and knocked his head on the wall. Something like that. Something ridiculous. It'd be great to see it if we know. Go on.
Right, here's what happened. Right, this is a world exclusive. What happened is he said something in Portuguese to Casemiro, who just 2-footed him
in the face
inside the swimming pool showers.
Yeah, and he's knocked his head on the little button that you have to press to keep the showers going on.
Yeah, and as he hit the deck, in brilliant timing, as he just went completely flat on the floor, the shower started.
Yeah, perfect. There you go.
That's exactly what happened.
That's exactly what happened. Prove me wrong. That's why he won't be here for 3 weeks. Yeah, 100%. Looking ahead just quickly to the next game, it's West Ham on Thursday. Thursday night, I think it's Thursday, Tuesday, I think the next 2 games, which is already a bit weird.
It's a fucking nightmare this week.
Yeah. How do you see that one going? Do you see another case of 10 men behind the ball and United struggle with less than 50% possession?
Well, let's see how they get on against Liverpool, eh? Is it still 0-0? I think it's half time. West Ham are weird at the moment. They're very beatable, but also could, like, the same, what they did to us last season, they could just turn up and smack you about a little bit. Like, I don't fucking know.
That's the problem, innit? No one knows. It just feels you can't rely on them. You start relying on them. I started relying on them, and that's why I was hurt so much against Everton. So I'm just assuming we're going to lose every game for the rest of the season, and hopefully
and that's it. And then you get fucking quizzed off the missus. Why is your face not happy? It's a curse of competence, right? We expect to win every single game, and we don't, and then we hate it. And then when you do, there's no joy. It's just relief.
Yeah. I think that's a lovely place to end this video, Steve. Thank you very much for joining us. Thank you for joining us at home as well. Hit subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. A huge win away at Selhurst Park. We'll see you in a bit.